So this is Tilly. It's been quite a while since she's been on video here, but we have been working for Texas Care Center, and she helps me along with her brother, who's a snake, at some outreach events, so sort of like sales. So this can still apply if you're actually doing sales where you're like, oh, I'm doing a craft fair and I've got my crochet things. For us, it's a mental health organization, so it's more like a health fair. We're just more informing people about our things. But this is what we bring to make it a little bit easier. So number one, you want to go down. Gotta have a carrier. I like one with a lot of visibility. Adjust as needed for whatever species of animals you have. But then you'll also want like water and some sort of dish to serve them with, and of course, just basic toys enrichment so they have something to do while you're there. I missed a whole other bag. So popping back into the beginning of the video, I forgot about this during the rest of the video. Treat bag, not for the snake, but for pretty much all other species, you'll want some sort of treat that they can have so that people that are scared can feed them, maybe from a distance, or you can reward them for good behavior. So must. And cleanup supplies. So you might need poop bags. For Tilly here, she actually, hers stay in her carrier. You'll want some sort of tissues or paper towels to wipe it up, this kind of a thing. And then a fun thing, definitely not needed, but needed for snakes, little hats. So lots of people are scared of snakes, and when they're scared and you're like, oh, he's just a little cowboy, and then you like put a cowboy hat on him, the fear just kind of melts away. So, okay, back to the video in an awkwardly edited way. Those are kind of the more obvious things you need, but as far as specifically for the outreach events, you need lots of stuff, but pertaining to just the animals, here's some of the things I bring. So number one, oh my goodness, it's just a big pile, more enrichment of stuff. Number one, I like to bring hand sanitizer, so that I can just spray on people's hands. My animals have been disease tested, they're clean, but what I don't want is for them to like handle the snake. Go eat some bad chicken, get salmonella, and be like, I bet it was from that snake, and then it's a problem. So I ask them to use hand sanitizer, and some people just want to be offered it, so we keep mini ones on hand on the table for people to use. And then if there's other animals there, which there's usually not at health fairs, but sometimes there'll be a petting zoo, I'll have them sanitized before, so whatever is needed. So then I get these guys, and I just made the tags on Canva, but I keep these out, and sometimes at these things you'll get, like, the parents are busy elsewhere, so just the kids will run over to come say hi to the animal. And so I'm not gonna like tell a 5-year-old all about mental health and like our services. So I'll offer them a sticker. Anyone's welcome to get them, but this is kind of the strategy behind it. And I'll be like, hey, if you prefer the snake, we have snake stickers, and if you prefer the bird, we have bird stickers, and they can pick one. And there's just different like parrots and stuff, as well as a flyer with all of our information on it, so they can learn about Texas Care, what we do, all that good stuff. And then it's the same thing with the snakes. I think you can get these stickers literally off Temu, but they're actually good, but they're really cheap, so it's just kind of an easy thing to do. I don't know. Then another couple of things I bring, and I'll talk about these ones more in the next part, which will be about actually handling the animals, how to help people out with that. But I like little pretend guys, because you meet like kids and stuff, and maybe they've never held a snake or they've never pet a bird. They don't know what to do. Some of them are just rambunctious, some of them are mentally disabled in some way. So if I feel like maybe they need a practice round, not everyone has to do this, then I'll get out one of the practice ones and I'd be like, hey, do you want to hold the rubber snake first? And I'll show them what to do with their hands. And then I'll put the snake on and I'll be like, and he might, and I'll grab the snake, I'll be like, he might wrap around you for stability, it'll feel like that, maybe a little tight. And I can sort of see kind of how they respond to direction and stuff with the fake ones before the animals. Same thing with the bird. Sometimes I'll be like, do you want to practice petting this? And if they like, it's a good time to practice like, oh, what we do is gentle, and we'll, do just one finger, and we'll teach them how to pet, and then we get Tilly out, and then they get to pet it. 99% of the time I don't need to do that, but it's nice to have for those cases, just for a little extra direction. We also have paperweights, so a lot of these events are outdoors, and so they're painted like the animals, and so those sit on top of our flyers. It's just a fun little thing, not needed, but a little touch, a little extra. Just bulk animal stickers is what that is, just for if I run out, I like to have back stock just in case. Then on the table we have this, and this one's in training, so it's actually just not up to pet, but we have the snake's name, Tilly's name, and then kind of a prompt that you ask us to pet, a little disclaimer about the animals. And it tells them to tag us on Instagram and what our Instagram is. We did just start our Instagram, so there's not much up on it yet. But kind of the hope is that a lot of people, when they hold the animal, they like want a picture taken or whatever, and then they post it. I never get to see it. The word doesn't spread, so this way they can tag us and be like, oh yeah, it's this person, and maybe somebody else needs our services. And I also have a QR code for the Instagram or for our website, so they can scan that and find us that way. So that way, you know, the word spreads beyond the health fair. Like if anyone on their Instagram will see it too and be like, what? And I know what you're thinking. They're like, well, what does an animal have to do with health? That's a different part of the video. That's probably part 3, where I'll kind of go over what the advantage of the animals is. This is just what I bring, so just chill. Another really nice thing is I clip this onto the carrier. Both animals have one. Just says, my name's Tilly, ask to say hi. And so this way, it's sort of just like a fun little thing, they can see the name. But on the other side, I flip it around and it says, Tilly's on a break. So sometimes if Tilly's getting too rambunctious, or maybe she just had a negative experience or whatever, I'll clip this on like this. And this hasn't ever happened, but I have a fear of it happening, of somebody being like, coming up, I put the bird away and they're like, hey, can I have my kid pet the bird? And I might have to say, no, she's on a break, and I don't want them to be like, so the kid before mine got to pet them, but I don't. It's like, oh no, see, it's just she's on a break. And so it's sort of like a no big deal, like it wasn't you, and it's already up. But then the other reason, the main reason, is more common, is that I don't like to start interactions negative. So you don't want somebody to come up and be like, hey, can I pet the animal? And then the first thing you say, no, but do you want to hear about our services? It's a little awkward. You don't want to start out with a no, so I like to have Tilly's on a break, so they're welcome to like look at it, take pictures, whatever. Not everyone reads it. Most people actually do seem to notice, because they're looking at the bird, so their eyes are on the carrier, and then they see the tag and they're like, oh, she's on a break. And it's also on the disclaimer that they take breaks. Okay, what I think, oh, another fun thing, like the stickers, you can get like bookmarks with birds or snakes on them, so that's super fun. Okay, last but not least, I get so many people, reasonably so, when both animals are there, and they're like, do you want to dip up? Oh, are we tangled? She's not usually allowed on my head. Oh no. Oh my gosh. Babe, honey, can you help me out here? There we go. So much fun. Anyway, so many people are like, we just did an event for the first time where I brought both animals. So I brought Tilly and Tonto, the snake. And I didn't really get this question back when it was just one, because before, like, lots of vendors will have games or whatever that they bring, and so it's just sort of like the thing. But when there's 2 animals, people are like, mental health? Is it a wildlife preserve? Like, what's going on here? So I go, oh yeah, we're mental health. And then I'll be like, oh yeah, these are our therapy animals. And as a joke, she's actually scared of this, so I do it with the snake. We'll see if she'll go down. We're in training. Yeah. But with the snake, which I'll bring for the next part of the video, be like, therapy animals, and I'll put them on the chair, which is like, if you've ever seen like a movie with therapy, then people like sit on the couch, and it's kind of a funny thing. But what I like about it is when they're like thinking back on their memory of the snake, they'll remember like the therapy thing, and also people take pictures of it and stuff, so not needed but a fun thing. So those are kind of my top things that I bring just for the animals, to like help out at these events that I found helpful. But yeah, there's lots of useful things. You're so good. And then the next part will be about tips for handling the animals, making sure everything's safe and goes well when it comes to birds and snakes specifically, but a little bit about dogs because I've done a little bit of that.